Hi, I'm Asa. I'm a certified yoga and meditation teacher with specialized training in prenatal and postpartum yoga, and I'm excited to share this practice with you today. I'm currently pregnant myself, 20 weeks, and I started experiencing SI joint pain right around 15 weeks. So a couple of weeks ago, I did some more research and kind of created this routine that I'm going to share with you that has really significantly helped decrease my SI joint pain. So there's going to be a lot of exercises in here that are going to strengthen the muscles around your core and your glutes, basically all around the pelvis, to help stabilize the pelvis and support it. And hopefully, just like it has helped me, I hope that it helps you with your SI joint pain. And be sure to stick around to the very end where I will share a few tips, ways that you can, things that you can apply in your daily life to hopefully avoid those sharp shooting pain moments that happen when we have SI joint instability. So we're going to start with a breathing exercise that I love to incorporate in almost all of my prenatal yoga classes, and that is called 3D breathing. You might also have heard it referred to as 360 breath. And I forgot to mention to go ahead and come to a comfortable seat so you can come in a cross-legged position, maybe sit on a blanket or a pillow, just something to lift your hips up a little bit higher. And then bring your hands to your sides, right around where your bra strap is, with the thumbs pointing towards the back, fingers forward. And the goal here with 3D breathing is to bring your inhale more, to concentrate your inhale more around your chest and your rib cage. So the next time you breathe in, try to breathe in a way that kind of pushes your ribs out to the sides, into your hands, and towards the front and the back. And then every time you exhale, feel as if your core muscles, your deep core, are kind of wrapping around baby and hugging baby gently in towards your spine. On your inhale, same thing, you're going to relax your core as you breathe deeply around your chest, expanding your ribs outwards. And as you exhale, just feeling that gentle core engagement, hugging baby in towards your spine, maybe also lifting up through your pelvic floor. And breathe in this way a few more times, just moving at your own pace. This is a breathing technique that we will continue through the rest of our practice here today, and I invite you to incorporate it in your day-to-day life, just to help keep those deep core muscles activated and engaged and strong, so that they will support and stabilize the pelvis. So we'll take one more breath here, breathing deeply into the ribs. And on your exhale, using that core to hug baby in towards your spine, lifting up through the pelvic floor. All right, so next we'll move into a series of hands and knees poses, again to further strengthen our core, our glutes, everything here around the pelvis to help stabilize and support it. So if you have kind of sensitive knees like I do, you might like a blanket under your knees for this next section. And we'll meet up in a tabletop position with the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. And we'll just start with kind of this neutral spine. You can go ahead and continue your 3D breathing here. So breathing in to your rib cage, relaxing your belly and your pelvic floor, and with each exhale, feel your core just gently hugging baby, kind of lifting baby up towards your spine as you lift in your pelvic floor. Next, we're going to do a posture or an exercise called bird dog, and I'll give you a few options here. So depending on how your body's feeling, your SI joint pain is feeling in this moment, the first option is going to be to reach one of your legs back and touch your toes on the mat. Just kind of see how that feels here in your body. This is a great position to start in. If you feel any pain in your SI joint with any of the poses that we'll do today, go ahead and sit those poses out. So we don't want to make anything worse. But if you feel good here, this is a wonderful spot to be. With each exhale, you're using your core here to hug baby in towards your spine. We're strengthening that left glute. Remember, you can always take a break at any time. So this is option 1. This feels good. You feel pretty strong. You can see what it feels like to lift your opposite arm and rest your fingertips on the mat. It's kind of balancing here. It's a wonderful posture for strengthening your core, your back. Remember, every exhale, hugging baby in towards your spine, keeping that core engaged on the exhales. And a few options here. We'll just spend a couple more breaths here. You're welcome to stay right here. You can see what it feels like to maybe float one arm up and hold it. You can see what it feels like to maybe lift the back leg up and hold it. Or you can find some sort of variation that feels good for you. Maybe that's lifting and lowering, just the arm or just the leg. Whatever feels right in your body. Or you can just kind of hold it here statically. Sometimes I like to add a little shh sound whenever I exhale. I invite you to try it just once or twice and notice how just simply making a shh sound on the exhale really activates your core. It's like it reminds you to engage your core on your exhale. We'll take one more breath here. And on your exhale, go ahead and bring your knee back in. Tuck your toes. Sit your hips back on your heels. Get a little toe squat break here. Shake your wrists out. And then we'll do the same position, same bird dog on the other side. So when you're ready, coming back to this tabletop position, extend your other leg back, toes on the mat. See how that feels. You can stay here. You can see what it feels like to lift the opposite arm. And again, a few more options here. You can stay here. You can see what it feels like to lift either one arm or one leg. Or even experiment with lifting and lowering. Kind of holding it statically. Just whatever feels right for you today. And remember, with each exhale, use your core to draw baby in. We'll take one more breath here. And on your exhale, slowly bring your knee back in. From here, tuck your toes, sit your hips back. One more time, give your wrists and your shoulders and arms a little bit of a break. And then we'll move next into what I call fire hydrant leg lifts. I don't know if it has an official name, but you'll understand why I call it this in just a moment. But it's a wonderful exercise for, again, strengthening the glute and stabilizing the hips. So when you're ready, make your way back into tabletop position. On your next exhale, lift one leg out to the side, keeping your knee bent at a 90-degree angle. You can decide how high you lift it. Maybe it lifts about as high as your hip. Maybe you're a little bit lower. Maybe it's just barely off the mat. And we're going to lift and lower it with the breath. So wait for an exhale to lift your knee out to the side, and inhale to lower. We do this about 5 times. Try to go slow and steady. Nice controlled movement here. Feeling your glute work here. And one more. Inhale back down. We'll move to the other side. Take a deep breath and wait for that exhale to lift your knee, hugging baby in at the same time, activating in your core. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Super slow, like you're moving in slow motion. Just a few more. Try to keep your pelvis steady. Sometimes there's a tendency to kind of use the momentum and find your hips kind of swaying a lot from side to side. We'll do one more. Great. Let's go ahead and take a little break in child's pose. Step your knees really wide here. Big toes touch. And slowly sink your hips backwards. Give your baby plenty of room here. Maybe stay up a little bit higher on forearms. Maybe it feels good to sink the hips back a little bit further. Just got a little opening in the hips. Part of our goal here is to also kind of lengthen the muscles that are around the hips as well. So if there's any imbalance or misalignment, we can help alleviate that by stretching the hips in a pose like child's pose, and then strengthening them in our other practices. All right, so from here we're going to make our way up to standing. You can rise up, sit your hips back on your heels. If you've got a blanket, go ahead and slide that off to the side. Now you can come up if you've got furniture around. You can certainly grab a hold of that to help kind of move up to standing. The other option is to kind of come back into this tabletop-like position. It's kind of like coming through down dog to make our way to standing. Because with the SI joint pain, when we do positions that are like a lunge and we're in a single leg standing position, sometimes it can make the SI joint pain worse. So we're going to try to come up to standing by keeping the hips kind of level and the legs in the same plane. So to do this, walk your hands a little forward, your knees a little back, step your feet and your knees a little wider, tuck your toes, take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, engage your core as you lift your hips. And then slowly walk your hands, coming up onto fingertips. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, almost like you're in a forward bend. Bring your hands to your knees. Go really slow here. On an exhale, engage your core as you rise up with a flat back. Just take your time. All right, so next we'll move into some squats, some standing squats, little hip circles, and make our way back down to the mat. So step your feet about hip width distance apart. You can go a little bit wider depending on how big your baby bump is already. You can keep your toes facing forward or turn them out to the side. And we'll just start by checking in with our posture, making sure we're in a neutral position. A lot of times in pregnancy, we tend to do this, don't we? It's like kind of comfortable in the moment because you don't have to, your core is not really working that much, right? When you kind of lean back like this, but it can make matters worse. It can contribute to back pain and other things as well. So as much as you can when you're standing, just try to be mindful of your posture and keep your hips over your ankles as best as you can. So for this squat, we'll start by bringing the hands to the hips. Inhale, do that 3 deep breath. Inhale into your chest, lift up through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, we're going to really reach your hips back as if you were sitting in a chair behind you and start to lower your hips. You can decide how low you go. Try to keep your knees as much as you can over your ankles, and you can reach your arms forward to kind of help counterbalance this. Keep your core engaged. Inhale to rise. We'll flow like this a few more times. So exhale, bend your knees, reach your hips back, hug baby in with your core. And inhale to rise. Move at your own pace. We're looking to really feel the quads and the glutes especially turn on. You can decide how low you sit into this squat. This is a wonderful practice for strengthening around your core and your pelvis. It can be very helpful for SI joint pain. Just remember to, with each exhale, when you're lowering down, nice strong core hugs and supports baby. And your strong core is also supporting your pelvis when you're in this position. Let's do one more. And inhale to rise. We'll move into some hip circles. Gonna lengthen everything out. So you bring your hands to your hips and just circle your hips. You can decide how big you make those circles. And go in a reverse direction. Nice. So next we'll move into some poses back down on the floor. So to come onto the floor, instead of kind of kneeling in that proposal position, again, we want to try to avoid that when we got SI joint pain. We're going to come into almost like a deep squat and then reach our hands forward and come to the floor. And this is really handy for anytime you need to pick something up off of the ground to practice this. So wait for an exhale to bend your knees. It's almost like we're going to do that squat again. Engage your core. Come down further and further until you can touch down your fingertips and then lower one knee at a time. Come to lie on your right side. Take your time getting there. You can place your blanket underneath your belly if you'd like a little extra support, kind of depending on how big your baby is. It might feel nice to have that extra little cushion right there. You can prop up your head with your other arm, stack your knees, bend your knees. And we'll move into some clamshells. You can use your other hand out in front of you to help you kind of stabilize here. We're going to keep the heels and the feet touching. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to move really slowly, keeping the feet touching again. Just open, lift your top knee. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. We'll do about 10 of these. Go nice and slow here. About 5 more, and then we'll move into some leg lifts. These are wonderful. If you only choose one exercise out of this to do every day, the clamshells are probably my favorite. You can do it in bed, before you go to sleep, when you first wake up. Last one. Okay, next, we'll take that top leg, extend it. Wait for an exhale to slowly lift that leg up. You can decide how high you lift it. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift. We'll do about 8 more. Slow and controlled. Feel that activation down the whole leg. It's as if the muscles in the leg are squeezing into the bone. Well, 5 more. This is wonderful for strengthening the outer glute and the outer hip. And just 1 more. All right, you can go ahead and bend your knee. I'm going to move into a little bridge pose flow. Now you have probably heard that it's generally not recommended to lie down flat on our backs for extended periods of time once you get further along in your pregnancy. But if it feels comfortable, it's okay to lay on your back for just short periods of time. And so especially what we're going to do next with bridge pose, we're going to flow up and down so we won't be static at all. So from here, to roll over onto your side, keep your legs together, kind of slowly roll onto your back. Bend your knees. Move my ponytail out of the way. Slide your heels about close enough to your hips to where your fingertips just barely brush your heels. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, lift your hips. Kind of squeezing your glutes at the top. Inhale to lower. We'll do about 10 of these. That was 2. Feel that core engagement every time you lift. Slow and controlled. About 5 more. Feel your pelvic floor lifting and activating with each exhale. And last one. After you lower, keep your knees together and we'll roll over onto the other side. I'm going to get up for just a moment so I can demonstrate while facing the camera. Just going to lay down on your left side next. You can prop your head up with your arm, stacking your knees and your feet. And we'll do the clamshells and the leg lifts on this side as well. So let me grab my little extra support for my belly. It does make a difference. When you're ready, on an exhale, slowly lift your top knee, keeping your feet together, feeling that squeeze, the activation in your glute, your outer hip. Wait for your exhale to lift and your inhale to lower. We'll do about 5 more. Be nice and slow here. And last one. And then from here, moving to those leg lifts. Extend your legs straight, tap your toes down, and wait for an exhale to lift. Just as high as you'd like, and inhale to lower. And again, we'll do 10 of these. That's 9. 8. 'Going nice and slow. Makes it a little harder the slower you go, because then you can't really rely on momentum. 4 more. And last one. Great. Bend your knee, and we're going to make our way back up to sitting. So from here, press your hands into the mat, into the floor to slowly rise up. And we'll end our practice with just a few breaths connecting with baby. You might grab that blanket and sit on top. Come back to a cross-legged position. You can bring your hands to your lap. You can bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly, or you can bring both hands, kind of wrap them around your sweet baby. We'll take 3 relaxing candle breaths. With a candle breath, you can close your eyes here if you like. Take a deep breath in through your nose, breathing into your chest. And on your exhale, blow out through the mouth as if you were blowing out a candle. So go nice and slow. 2 more. Just feeling your whole body relax with each one. Last one. Maybe taking a moment of gratitude for this time today, this ability to practice, and to connect with your sweet baby. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. I really hope that this practice helps you find relief in your SI joint pain. I highly recommend practicing these exercises on a regular basis. Sometimes, a one-off practice can provide some relief, but I can tell you from my personal experience that when you keep up with these practices every day, you'll see the most benefit. And it doesn't take that long, really. You'll see a change pretty quickly. So, I encourage you to continue these often, kind of get into a routine of it. And I promised 3 tips for avoiding SI joint pain in your day-to-day life. First tip is when you roll over in bed. So for some women, that can be kind of a trigger for SI joint pain. And that's because the pelvis is kind of opening and you're kind of twisting at the same time. And a lot of times when we roll over in bed, we're not really paying attention to it at all. So for this option, whenever you roll over, just like we did earlier in our practice when we moved on to our back from the leg lifts to our bridge pose, you're going to do a similar thing. So when you're laying down in bed, when you're ready to roll over, keep your legs together. You can keep them bent, you can keep them straight. The idea here is to keep them together. You can use your hands too, and just slowly kind of roll over in one, they call it log rolling. It's like you're in one position, I guess, while you're rolling over, instead of just doing it one leg at a time. So keep that in mind, keep that in the back of your head whenever you're rolling over, to keep your legs together. It'll help stabilize the pelvis. The second tip is whenever you're picking up anything off the ground. We did this earlier. Basically, you're going to come into kind of like a squat-like position. So if there's something on the ground, I know I've got a toddler, so there's always something to pick up off of the floor. And so when that happens, there's kind of this tendency to kind of do this this kind of awkward lean that puts the pelvis in an uneven position. So again, you're just going to come like in a squat position and hinge from your hips, engage your core, and come down kind of evenly to grab whatever it is that you're grabbing. And then the third suggestion is whenever you get out of the car, to do so in a way that kind of keeps your legs in the same plane or the same direction. So a lot of times we put one leg out first and then we kind of step out kind of on the one leg. And again, that can make the SI joint pain, the SI joint a little angry. So what you'll do instead is put one foot out of the door, grab the other one, and so you're kind of like swiveling your legs out first before you put any weight in them, and then you're going to come up to standing and maybe grabbing a hold of the car door or something to kind of support you there. So I hope those tips help. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear how far along you are in your pregnancy And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.